Our next guest spent 15 years as a fashion photographer shooting some of the biggest supermodels, including Cindy Crawford. But he decided to walk away and refocus his lens and highlight the beauty of those who are bullied or stigmatized for looking different. Let's talk about this now with Rick Guidotti, an award-winning photographer and the founder and director of Positive Exposure. Rick, how did you come up with this idea?
Well, it wasn't really an idea. You know, as a fashion photographer, I was always told who was beautiful. And I found it really frustrating because as an artist, I don't see beauty just on covers of magazines. I never did. I see beauty everywhere. And I spotted a kid waiting for a bus with white hair, pale skin. She had a genetic condition, albinism, and I realized she had never been included in that beauty standard. So in collaboration with an advocacy organization called No, which is supporting people with albinism and their families, we created this idea to photograph and create a positive representation of albinism in the media. So the first girl I photographed walked into my studio, so beautiful, gorgeous, long white hair, pale skin, but had zero self-esteem because of the bullying and the teasing she experienced every day in the classroom environment.
But this has to be a hard sell in terms of getting these people who have these challenges, getting them to tell their stories to you, because you know, few people have done something. I mean, it's very courageous what you have done.
Well, it's really just getting the light right on these gorgeous kids, and they're ready for it. They're ready to be seen as the stunning, gorgeous people that they are. This first kid that I photographed literally walked into my studio like this, and just getting the right. Just the day before, I photographed Cindy Crawford on the same set in my studio, and I thought, out of respect for this kid, I want to photograph her like I would any supermodel, so fans and music. And I just held the mirror and said, "Look at yourself, you're magnificent." And this kid saw it, and she went from this to this empowered, positive person seeing beauty in her reflection.
And what do their families tell you?
Oh, well, you know, while I'm photographing these gorgeous kids, and it's kids and adults of all ages, right. But as I'm photographing that kid, I always love looking just beyond their shoulder because they're beaming in front of the camera and they're just having a blast, but always looking past to see their mom and dad who are beaming even brighter because finally somebody sees their gorgeous kids through their eyes.
Now, what is the public's reaction to your work?
Well, those very first images were a cover story in Life magazine, and it continues. We continue to exhibit everywhere in the world. I just came back from the Faroe Islands and you know, between Iceland and Norway, and then working with the community there, to Australia, an exhibition that's traveling there, to the Mayo Clinic, to the Health Museum in Houston, to University of California. It's like we just create these exhibitions. The public loves them because we're so hungry for an alternative to either staring at somebody who has a difference or looking away. And we know that that staring is wrong, so we look away. So all of my friends over the last 20 years have told me that looking away sometimes is more painful than the staring. So we're creating a million opportunities and alternatives for the public to embrace and see beauty in human diversity because it exists there, and it exists there in a billion times.
And yet on television, for example, do we see these examples?
We're slowly but surely, we're starting to see certain models with certain skin conditions, like a Winnie Harlow with her vitiligo, and she's gracing fashion magazines, and some gorgeous kids in fashion and runways. And we're looking beyond a little bit of difference. We're starting to embrace it a little bit more. And I think as a public, we certainly all understand now that that person who's on the cover of that magazine has spent hours in hair and makeup, and then it had been retouched, so they don't even look like that person. So
that's for sure.
As a public, we're not fooled so much by that. We all want to find that thing that's unattainable, but we're getting it a little bit more, and we're creating more and more ideas around this idea to embrace difference.
Very quickly, is it a business?
Well, no, we're a nonprofit organization. Positive Exposure is a nonprofit group. We're operation for over 20 years, all based on the philosophy of change how you see how you change. The business that we're all in is really make sure that the world sees the beauty of human diversity, that we embrace diversity, we embrace difference, promoting equity and inclusion worldwide.
Rick Guidotti, great to meet you, and thank you.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate it.
It's an honor. Thank you.